There's a number of things that need inspected and maintenance procedures that need to be performed every 12 months or 36,000 miles, whichever comes first. And one of those things is to inspect your spring for loss of arc. This can be done by using jacks, a straight edge, and a tape measure. But before you begin this procedure, make sure that you are confident in your skills to do so, or you can ask a technician to perform this for you. Make sure that you have your wheels chocked and that you are on a safe and level ground using all of the proper safety equipment like steel-toed shoes and safety glasses. We're going to begin this by taking a measurement before we remove the weight from our springs. To do this, you would take your straight edge, or you can use a piece of string tied to both of the eye loops of your spring. And then you will take the measurement of the depth of the spring with the weight on that spring. So you would measure from the center of that spring to your straight edge, and here we have about 3 3/4 inches. When we take that weight off of our spring, that arc should increase. Now we're going to jack up the frame, and to do that, you want to make sure that you use a properly rated jack and then place jack stands so that this frame will not fall while you are taking this measurement. To jack up a frame, you want to make sure that you place your jack underneath the I-beam and not underneath the axle or any of the cross members of the frame. We're going to remove our wheel. We're doing this so that you can fully see the inspection we're performing on this spring. When you perform this procedure, you don't actually have to remove this wheel, but removing the weight of your camper from your suspension will show you if you have a loss of arc at your leaf spring. To remove the wheel, we're going to grab our breaker bar and loosen all of these lug nuts. Along with our breaker bar, we're going to need a few things of PPE, which is personal protective equipment. When you're working underneath a frame or around any tools, you'll want to make sure that you have your safety glasses. Also, if you need your hearing protection, if you're using any impact wrenches or power tools. And you can also use gloves to make sure that your hands stay clean and protected from the metal on the frame. We also have chocks for our tire to make sure our frame doesn't move while we're loosening those lug nuts. And you'll want to make sure that these are placed in opposite directions on these tires. I already have safety glasses on, and I don't need the earplugs, so we're going to put these to the side. And now we can remove our tire. Now with all of the lug nuts loosened but still in place, we can raise the frame and remove our wheel. When you're raising your frame with a hydraulic jack, you want to make sure you place that jack underneath an I-beam and not any of the suspension system, axles, or cross members, and make sure that you're following your manufacturer's recommendations for supporting your frame. Now you can use an impact gun or a wrench to fully remove the lug nuts and then remove the wheel. Now we're going to use our floor jack to apply a load to our axle so you can see that measurement of the leaf spring before the weight of the vehicle is removed from that suspension system. Now we're going to take the measurement from the center of the leaf spring to where our level is, and this will give us the measurement of what the leaf spring looks like under load. Now we're going to take another measurement after we remove the load from our leaf spring. So you can see from our measurements that we've gained about 1/2 inch. Normally, you want to gain almost double of what that spring arc is. As that measurement gets smaller, it's a sign that the leaf spring is losing its arc and will need replaced. We've inspected the suspension on our leaf spring axle, but this same procedure can be performed for a torsion suspension system. You'll lift the frame in the same manner, but instead of that measurement for our leaf spring, you will measure how far that clearance from your wheel to your wheel well, the top of your wheel well, how much that clearance increases. If there's no increase in that measurement, it's a sign that your rubber cord has become too stiff to act as a suspension system. Or if there's too much movement, it's a sign that rubber cord is failing and deteriorating. Either of those things are signs that you'll need to replace your torsion axle. And a general lifespan for a torsion axle is about 11 years, and a leaf spring is about 6 years.